Women, are you ever resentful that he doesn't really understand you? Or hurt or confused when he walks out of the room when you're in the middle of an argument or just trying to talk to him? Did you know that men often are frustrated that no matter what they do for you, you don't think it's enough? Or they're baffled by why you can't just say what you mean? Why you're so indirect? Of course you've heard about Mars and Venus, how men and women come from different planets. But that's not quite an accurate image. We're all from the same planet, and in fact we all use the same English, but the same words have different meanings. If you've ever been to Great Britain, you will recognize this. They speak English too, but while the words are the same, some of those words have different meanings. For instance, if a woman in London were to ask to borrow your apple and pear to clean her gutters, you'd have no idea what she was talking about. You wouldn't know she was asking for your ladder. You'd also be baffled if you heard someone say, "We need to rabbit," or "Please keep your hair on." And one of my favorites, "You have a ladder up your leg." Every word is English, but you need a translation because it doesn't make sense to those of us in the United States. So if the London woman said, "We need to rabbit," you would know that it meant, "We need to talk." And if she said, "Keep your hair on," you would know it meant, "Calm down." And for my favorite, "You have a ladder up your leg," means a woman has a run in her stocking. While we may expect English words to be different when we are in England, we do not expect English words to be different here in the United States. Yet there are differences in the meaning of words used by men and women. Now there is a dictionary to help people translate British and American English. And recently I wrote a dictionary, the world's first gendered relationship dictionary, to help men and women translate their English, or as I call it, male-ese and female-ese. By learning the differences between male-ese and female-ese, you can start talking and responding to him differently, right away. Not next year, not next month, not next week, but right now. It's important, though, to know that there is no right or wrong with either language. They're just different. British and North American English are both right. We will never convince them not to rabbit. And I'll never tell an American friend she has a ladder up her leg. You may never get the important man, or perhaps any man in your life, to speak female-ese, and he will never get you to speak male-ese. But what you can do is learn some of his language, so you can translate it and respond to what he means, not to what his words mean to you. By translating his male-ese, you can avoid feeling resentful and misunderstood. Let me share with you an example that demonstrates this point. I'm going to describe a scene that probably will sound very familiar. In female-ese, he's not listening. However, in male-ese, she's nagging. Okay, let's call the woman Joyce and the man Stefan. Joyce and Stefan are sitting one evening in their den after the kids have gone to bed. She's complaining, "You always come home late. The kids don't get to see you." When Stefan doesn't say anything, she says, "You don't make it to any of their games, and last week you missed Chrissy's dance performance." When he still doesn't say anything, she continues, "You know, you promised you would repair the front gate, and it's still broken. Anyone could come right through." She's getting more upset as she talks, and as he remains silent. And remember, you promised we'd get away, just the two of us? I don't believe that'll ever happen. When he continues sitting silently, she screams, "Well, what do you have to say?" And with real confusion, he asks, "About what?" Which, of course, infuriates her even more. I hear variations of this scenario in my office almost every week. The man almost always finally speaks with that same comment, "About what?" Let's take apart this scene and see what really was happening in male-ese and in female-ese. In male-ese, the purpose of conversation is to report or exchange information, or to answer a question. For women, though, the purpose is to connect and relate to the other person. You can see there may be a problem here. So, Joyce makes a comment and expects Stephen will respond. He, however, is waiting to hear what she wants from him, or for a question. Here's the gender cycle. She speaks. He waits for her to finish and tell him what she needs from him, or to ask him a question. When he doesn't respond, she either thinks she has explained it well and repeats herself, or moves on to another complaint. And it goes round and round. Stephen might see her as a nag, complaining he comes home late, doesn't go to the kids' events, hasn't fixed the gate, hasn't taken her on a vacation. Joyce, though, doesn't feel heard and assumes he's ignoring her, doesn't care about her feelings or what's important to her. While this scenario may not happen to you and your partner 100% of the time, chances are variations of it do, leaving each of you feeling frustrated and angry at not being heard nor understood. If Joyce had understood male-ese after she commented on his coming home late and missing the kids' activities, she could have said, "Is there something we can figure out so that you can make more of their events?" It's a question. It tells him what she wants from him. There is a problem that needs to be solved. And after all, men like solving problems if they aren't feeling attacked. And if Stephen had understood female-ese, he could have said, "I need a period," which would be a code word they had prearranged for him to remind her to stop after she makes her point the first time. I promised you could put some of this into practice immediately. So tonight, watch how your conversation with your partner goes. If you find yourself talking and feel he is not listening, insert a specific question. You could always tell him about what I've been saying here about male-ese and female-ese, and ask what he thinks about it. If you're specific, he won't be saying, "About what?"